Hey, gun people. I want to talk about this video here on these skydiving dogs helping fight poachers. I talk about dogs and feeding dogs and different things about dog handling. So I wanted to talk about a little bit on this video, and I'm going to crack on it. And I know some people are going to go, oh, this guy thinks he knows everything, and he's just cracking on. I mean, I get this shit from the horse. Look, when somebody understands something on a technical level because of experience and they understand the ins and outs, they're going to nitpick or see things that are done by others who they understand that the lessons they've learned, you know, it's kind of like when cops watch movies from Hollywood and the things they make cops do. Cops who work the streets go, oh man, that's way bullshit. And somebody that races cars for a living, if they make a movie about a car racing, they're like, oh, you can't do that. And they'll, you know, and if you, I mean, whatever specialty you're in, when you see other people try to fake that or do that, you're going to be critical. And anytime you have a specialty in something, they have a critical eye in that area. And it's a shame I got to explain this, but I get so many damn comments that nobody can critical think anymore. So when I'm evaluating something and I have a critical eye on something, it's because of my experience that I just see things that other people won't see. So I try and point those out. And unfortunately, it may come across like I'm picking and thinking I'm greater than God and all this other crap, but I'm just telling you from experience some things that I see on this. I'm just kind of like, man, you could do this a lot better. So let's look at this video here, and I'll just kind of crack on it and tell you things that I see that I don't necessarily like. So we have a dog here, and he's supposedly working the front line. Okay, when you jump, this guy's first of all rappelling. I mean, now remember, I was a rappel master. I used to teach rappelling in the military, so I know a little bit about rappelling that probably a lot of people don't know. This guy's hand is way too close to his brake, and that's a good way to get your thumb through there. And you know, your brake hand should be far away from your D-ring or your figure eight, whatever it is you're using as a braking system. You don't want your hand by it. So, but anyway, so when this guy jumps off this skid here, you know, and again, if you rappel off a helicopter, you need to swing out and you're coming down, but the force used when you're rappelling or fast roping from a helicopter is greater than if you're doing it from a building. Well, Rick, how can that be? Gravity's the same and you weigh the same, and if you jump off a helicopter and you jump off a building, gravity should be pulling the same. Well, it's different because you have, I don't remember if they call it propeller wash or propeller pressure, whatever you want to call it. The pressure that's keeping that plane in the air from the propellers is pushing down air, and that air resistance hits you, and it pushes you down harder and faster, which makes it you're heavier. And depending on the rope and how many twists you put in your brakes and what type of braking system you use, sometimes if you'll brake, you know, I'll put 2 twists on a guy that's closer to 200 pounds and a guy that's closer to 100 pounds, I can get away with a 1 twist brake on a D-ring. Now, if you understand rappelling, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then that may be Greek. But anyway, so the force and pressure from this propeller is pushing him faster and harder, and this dog is tied to him on a straight, what I call a static line or a hard line. It's not a bungee. If this was a bungee, it would take some of the resistance off the dog. But when you watch this guy come out, I want you to watch the pressure and the snap that this dog has. And remember, this dog doesn't have a waist. A dog has a rib cage and a spine, so they have a vest of some sort, and they're probably hooking in, and most of it, the pressure should be from the shoulder of the dog, but that's a lot of pressure on there. And if you're going to have a dog jumping off, I want you to watch snap. So that's one issue I had when I saw this. I was like, wow. Okay, so now they're going to show the dog all right, taking off here. If you're going to be taking off with a stinking dog, I mean, you need to take care of your partner, and your dog's your partner. They should have a flat board or something for this dog to stand on. What they've done is when you take off, again, remember that jet wash that's pushing the repeller down faster or the fast roper faster? That same force and pressure is now pushing this dog down harder, which is putting more weight. So even if the dog weighs 70 pounds, he may be holding up 100, 120 pounds. I mean, I'm not sure of the physics, but it increases the amount that this rope is holding. So the dog has nothing to stand on. So he's immediately being hung by his rib cage or his chest area while they're flying and turning, and you have all this jet pressure propeller wash coming down, putting more pressure on the dog. I just really think if you're doing this, if I was doing it with my dog, or I had any dogs under my control, they would not be hanging like this. They would have a platform that they could stand on, and the only time they would feel pressure of hanging is when we actually rappelled or jumped off the helicopter or jumped out of the plane. So again, my take, I know, see that dog, strain, legs are hanging, a lot of pressure. See, this guy's very comfortable because he's hanging on a rope and he's got a skid to stand on. So he's not feeling the same pressure as the dog. I used to get so upset at my handlers, man, when I saw a handler trying to make their dog sit on 100-degree concrete and the dog didn't want to sit, and they'd correct it and tell it no, and they'd make it not. I'd want to beat their ass and say, what are you doing? He's got a bare ass that you want him to put on 100-degree concrete. Of course he's not going to sit. But they would take it immediately as a dog's being disrespectful and he's not listening and he should listen to me and I'm the boss and I'm in charge and I got to show him who's boss. Same shit I deal with horses, but I mean, dog handlers do the same thing to their dogs sometime. And, you know, I see people walking their dogs on hot concrete and the dog's dancing, doing a stinking tap dance, and the owner is clueless, walking around with his soles on his feet so he doesn't feel the heat, but his dog's walking barefoot on freaking hot concrete and pavement and blacktop. All right, let's move on here because I'm not finished. Okay, so again, dog's hanging, tail down. This dude hanging, I'm going to get to him in a minute because they show a better close-up to him. Anybody with taxi skills should kind of figure out what's going on here. I'm going to point out a couple things. So this guy's hanging. This guy, I guess, is cover. Again, this is probably a video just to kind of show the dogs are doing good. And I'm not cracking on what these dogs are going. They're going after poachers. They're doing good things. I'm just saying, if you're going to work a dog and you're going to do things with dogs, you need to take care of your dog, and having him hang when he doesn't need to hang and putting pressure when he doesn't need pressure. Snap, dog's coming around, twisting, not really secure. Not a fan. Okay, so this guy is almost what I call in a free fall. The dog's probably a little nervous and scared. Again, it's going to be scared at first. The more he does it, it shouldn't be too bad. You see this guy's hand right here? I mean, it is right next to the brake. That's a big no-no in rappelling. See that D-ring right there in that hand? Now, I'm sure he's got another brake in there. They've got some different brakes. So he doesn't have the standard brake on this D-ring because I can't see the rope in a twist. Normally when we rappel with a D-ring, this rope is twisted through this D-ring once or twice, and that's your brake. So he has a top brake hooked into the D-ring, but that hand that close to the brake, I mean, maybe they've got some new technology that I don't know about that you can have your hand that close, but you've got this rope going through here creating a lot of friction, tension, and going through very fast. And the last thing you want to happen while you're going down there is to have a glove, a thumb, a finger, or anything interfere with that rope, because it's going through so fast with all that pressure of you, your dog, and the propeller wash. You don't want to have anything close to that brake area. That's just my takes. Somebody who's more experienced may come here and say, you're full of shit. You know what I'm talking about. All right, whatever. So the dog's on the ground. He releases him. Great. Go run 10-10. Get him, boy. Good boy. He's got stuff hanging all over him. When you release dogs with all this shit, I'm not a fan of that. You see this jacket and this, man, I guess I was kind of zoomed in there. I don't know what you guys saw here. Let me go back here, because sometimes I look at the computer and I'm not looking at the what I'm filming. So when you got this dog attacking with all this vest and gear, these are things that the bad guy can grab. These are things that if I had a dog attacking me, I would be using in my favor. I would be reaching around. I would give him my arm and then reach around and grab this good thing and start swinging him right from the center, which gives me leverage. It gives me a good handle. If this wasn't here, I'd have to have fur, skin. He could twist, claw, bite. When I have this, this gives a bad guy a real advantage. Now, somebody's going to say, well, maybe that's bulletproof and that's protecting from the bullets. Well, okay, whatever. I just don't think you ought to be sending a dog to attack with a bunch of bullshit hanging that guys can grab. You see this leash right here hanging? That's another thing. It's probably got a choke chain on it. It can be grabbed by the bad guy. Not a good thing. I know everybody's going to be like, God, he's picking on these people. They're trying to do good things. I'm just telling you the truth, people. All right? Guy falls. Why are they using black guys to catch these people? I don't understand this. They're racist. I had to throw that in for the stinking liberals that come here and do their drive-by. All right, so now another thing I noticed here, people may not notice, this is called a muzzle, and this is for handler and other people protection. When a dog gets in a loud, again, if you've ever been in a helicopter, it's freaking loud. That propeller and the wind, it's loud. Now these guys, I think, are jumping out of a plane. I don't know if they're jumping out of a helicopter or a plane. I couldn't tell. I wasn't paying attention. I just got focused on the muzzle. So this muzzle stops the dog from getting excited and maybe reaching around and grabbing and biting. If a dog starts falling or something, he may grab the bite instinctively to stop him from falling or to hang on to something, or he gets excited because of the noise he can't hear. He doesn't know the wind's blowing. He doesn't know who his handler and who the good guy is. So when you get in a high volatile situation, it's not uncommon for a dog to accidentally bite the handler or to bite somebody else. So that's the purpose of the muzzle. I don't know if the dog has hearing protection. I doubt it. Dogs' hearing much more sensitive. That's why I don't like to do a lot of gunfire training next to dogs. So he is jumping out of a helicopter. Again, when he comes out of the helicopter, that jet wash is pushing him down very fast. I guess they throw this little streamer down to keep him balanced. And they land. And he's holding his dog. I like that. He doesn't let his dog hit first. So he's holding his dog, protecting his legs. He's strapped to the vest. Now I know when people parachute, they're strapped here, but if I was rappelling, you probably can't have the dog here because of the rope and the braking system, but I just didn't like the dog hanging on the side. I would much rather the dog, you be more secure. Now the con to this is when a dog's muzzled and hit the ground, you got to take your muzzle off. The dog's not immediately ready to protect you, which I don't think is that critical. I mean, you shouldn't be going in so much of a hot zone that your dog's got to bite somebody as soon as you hit the ground. Your planning wasn't that great if you're in that situation. And then on the last thing here, let's see here, choke chain. Okay, this right here kind of bugged me too from a tactical position. Look, if you're on the right side, your gun needs a switch. This guy is shooting. If he was on this side of the chopper, I got no problem with his gun over there because now he's using his gun. He has to twist his whole body to engage anything on this side because his natural point of aim is this where. And his natural point of aim is to the chopper. So his best point of aiming and securing is in the chopper area. Whereas if he was on this side, then he would have a good open area of a field of fire. So his gun should be, instead of in a right-handed hold, should be in a left-handed hold, so he has a field of view this way away from the chopper. I know it's minor, but when I saw this, I was just like, are you kidding me? Really? You got all this? You couldn't engage a guy here if you wanted to. What are you going to do? You're going to be an owl and twist your neck 360? I mean, you're just not engaging anybody over here. And your natural point of aim, if this chopper moves or anything, is to go inward toward the chopper, not away from the chopper. I know I'm being picky and people are going to be whatever. All right, so that's my cracking on helicopter rappelling and dogs and field of fire. We'll end that there. Sorry if I offended somebody. This is my liberal warning. Some of this may be offensive to people that play video games and think they know all about tactics. All right, we'll end that there.